And then I will go ahead and introduce our panelists. So joining us today, we have Crystal Kong. Crystal is founder and CEO of Lockin Global University Central Career Union and oversees recruitment service system in China. Lockin has become the largest recruitment service in China with more than 60,000 company users, 1,600 global university connections, and more than 1.2 million effective applications from Chinese returnees. Additionally, Lockin has hosted more than 500 free global career fairs and 2,000 free trainings for international students all over the world. Prior to founding Lockin, Crystal worked in a world's top 500 company in Canada for 6 years and in HR for about 10 years after returning to China. And Crystal's actually joining us from China right now, so it's 3 o'clock in the morning there. So we are just so appreciative that she's here and participating in the panel. Thank you for joining us, Crystal.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Next up, we have Emma Zhu. Emma is an ASU and Thunderbird alumnus. She holds degrees in business management and human resources management, and she just graduated recently. So she graduated from WP Carey in 2017, returned to her home country, China, to teach English for a year before coming back to study at Thunderbird again. She graduated with her master's in global management in May of this year and has just started a position as a management trainee at CINTAS. CINTAS is an industry leader in supplying corporate uniforms and industrial products with more than 500 facilities in North America. Emma is currently on optional practical training, OPT, and is happy to answer any questions about that type of post-graduation work authorization. Thanks for joining us, Emma.
Thank you.
And lastly, we have Sun Jones. Sun Jones is a doctor of nursing practice, prepared and board certified family nurse practitioner who has been providing primary care in the Chandler, Arizona area since 2001. She received her Master's of Science in Nursing in 2001 and Doctor of Nursing Practice degree in 2010 from Arizona State University. Sun strongly believes in the education and production of quality future family nurse practitioners who will improve the overall health of the general public upon graduation. She oversees the FNP program as the program chair and serves as associate faculty for the University of Phoenix, as well as associate faculty at Simmons University in Boston. She's very involved in the community locally, nationally, and internationally. For example, Sun currently serves as the president of the Arizona Korean Association, serving as the president of the Overseas Korean Nurses Association, just so many different ways that she's involved. Thank you, Sun, for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me, and this is my honor to be here. Thank you.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started with some questions for our panelists, and presenting our questions today is Sheila Shed.
Thanks, Brianne. Again, I welcome everybody thank you so much for being here. Our panelists, just going through your bios and your backgrounds, we're just so honored to have each and every one of you spend time with our students today and our alums. So we're going to kick it off here with an icebreaker question. So as you know, these are students and alumni who are here to get some advice, get some words of wisdom from each of you. So the first question we have for you is, what was your first job? I'll start with you first, Sun.
Oh, okay, sure. You know, if I tell you what I did back in 1982, you're gonna know how old I am, right? It dates back a long time, but I did work. Actually, my first job was at ASU. I'm not so sure if you know the Memorial Union used to have game room with the pool tables and bowling. We used to call it bowling alley, right? But we had 10-lane bowling alley back then, and my job was to create flyers, for events. And we did not have a computer back then, so I was using a rub-off letters, and I basically got hired because they liked the way I was, writing. My handwriting was good, so I made handmade, posters, with the freehand drawing, and so that was my first job. I remember getting paid like $3 an hour, right? So this is unheard of nowadays, but that was my first job. I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Yeah, the Memorial Union is still there, and there are still pool tables and game rooms and things like that. I don't know if we still have the bowling alley, but yeah.
No, they got rid of it, and because I'm kind of short, right? Being Asian, I'm really short. I used to hop over, I have to hop onto the pool table to clean those pool tables at night as well too. So yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
Yes, I had a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Crystal, what was your first job?
Wow. That was it's a long time ago. Okay, let me record that. Okay. Well, actually, I'm kind of honored about my first job because I graduated about like 2005 or 4, if I remember clearly. And well, at that moment, it was tough to the international student. I graduated from the UBC, that was in Vancouver. At that moment, I remember the policy for the immigration to the international student is you have to fund your permanent job offer in 90 days after you're graduate. So it means like you really have to fund some like an offer like before you have to move back. So it's a tricky because you do not have a guaranteed visa to stay for work. So whoever give you the visa means like you might be only can work for them for 1 year. So it means like not a lot of sponsor employer, they love to give you the offer. So it was a tough time, especially for that year. I think I remember the year after it's getting like a better compared before. So they give you maybe 1 year or 2 years guarantee visa to stay to find a job. So that was tough for me, but I was kind of lucky because I prepared earlier. Because I prepared everything from my 3rd year. I got very good internship with the first employer. That was a Maersk Logistics. That was quite big. So my first job was like something like the trainee. It's management trainee, and the very first stage for my trainee program was like cold call program, like something like you do the like a phone sales. And you have to do the phone, like a phone call, like a cold call. So for me, that was tough because I'm the second language. At that moment, I'm still, get into everything. And I feel shy, very shy. When I pick up the phone, when I talk to people, I still, shaking all the time. Let's say, okay, I'm the second language people. I cannot talk that well. But you know what? I passed the stage about 6 months. After 6 months, okay, I feel like I'm super. So that gave me the very good training for my first job. Well, I still remember that was tough, not that enjoyable, but it's really helpful. I grew so fast. I even feel like a faster than the past 4 years of my bachelor degree. So, that was like a very amazing experience, very helpful, but not easy at all. Yeah.
Wow. I'm so glad you survived it.
Well, yes.
Cold calling.
Yes, I've survived. Yes.
Yeah. Cold calling is not the easiest, but definitely, like you said,
no,
once you pass it, it's like you feel invincible.
For sure. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Emma, what was your very first job?
So my very first job was actually, I was 4 exchange student. I was in high school, and we have this program in my hometown. And then the agency who helped us go to be an exchange student wants me to be the intern for the next generation. So hosting events for them. So I did a lot of event planning. I just basically kind of like wedding planner, but without people the newlyweds, but just for students to have prom and stuff like that. So it was easy. for me, because I love calling the hotel, like booking stuff, spending other people's money, not mine. So that was pretty fun. And I made a lot of great friends. It was summer. It was really hot in my hometown. I was running around, do all those things, and I put like a great show, I think. So that was my very first job. So after that, I always wanted to be like a wedding planner or event planner. That was like the secret, like dream job of mine, but I don't think it's gonna come true though.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, party planning, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, so that's really good. So that's the amazing part. And I'm hoping students will realize how, you know, our first jobs, I mean, that doesn't dictate the rest of your life. It's just the beginning, but then it's still a learning experience that you can build off of every year over year. So, so let's start off again. Let's go back to you, Emma. As you're starting your new role in CINTAS, could you tell us a little bit more about your position and what you'll be doing?
Yeah, I haven't officially started yet because I'm waiting for my OPT, which is a struggle for me as well. Anyone who has a problem or issue with OPT can ask me, go ahead, don't worry about it. So my role is called Management Trainee. So it's a rotational program. You go through warehouse. I'm in the rental section. So you see like the Starbucks apron, and then like waste management, like uniform. They don't wash it themselves. Like their employees don't wash it themselves. They bring into CINTAS, and the CINTAS wash it and then do like weekly delivery. So I'm in that section. So we have a really big like warehouse, which is a laundry room. Like I never do laundry in my house. And my husband like always teases me, ha ha ha, you're gonna do the lifelong laundry at your company if you don't do your weekend laundry. So yeah, I'm going to be at the warehouse to learn how to do laundries for, I mean, like half a year or something. And then I'll go into account receivable to collect receivables, to call people, like cold calling. Not cold calling, just like call people to pay up, guys. And then I'm going to sales phase, cold calling, and then outside sales as well. And then I'll do, I think the last phrase is operation, like how to host, like oversee the whole factory. So that's my role, and I will last for 2 years. And after that, I'll either move to department head or sales position that if I wanted to be. So yeah, like any other general management training program.
Fantastic. Yeah, those management trainee programs. And I believe, Crystal, your first job was a management trainee. Like it really does give you that opportunity to see the little parts of the organization as a whole. And it really makes it really valuable for you. Because at the end, when you're a department head, you know what's happening in the laundry room.
Yeah, well, that was like pretty much like the hardest positions for the fresh graduate. They love the management trainee.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Emma. So Crystal, so tell us a little bit more about what you're doing at Lockin and what Lockin does with us. You guys are such great partners for us at Arizona State. So yeah, tell everybody.
Wow, that's the big question. I can just answer you until tomorrow morning. Okay, Lockin, actually Lockin is, it's a new company. It's only 5 years. So I founded in 2015. So it's not like very long time, but for me, it's like the whole life. So I'm the CEO for a company at this moment. Lockin is the largest platform, only focused on we call it like overseas returnee. We start from job market in China, but like since last year, we just develop more areas like for Indians, for Japanese, for Koreans, like other international students. So Lockin is very focused. You know, we don't do everything, but we only do the job for the fresh graduate, for the international students. So it means like if you're studying overseas, no matter where you're from, so we try to connect you for more opportunity if you want to return back to your home country. So it's just it's a platform. We help the employers to find their target talents. So it's not like the traditional platform. Like we do have a lot. Like we have 60,000 employers post the positions on our website. we have about like 250,000 positions available at this moment. So we believe we have enough opportunity for the people with the special background, like with overseas background. So we try to like small the gap between the employers and the talents. So we try to do a lot of models. We try a lot of things, you know, to change, you know, the traditional way, because we believe that here's like a big space. We can, you know, help the students to even earlier or faster or better to touch up the more opportunities. You know, so that's what we do, and that's why we work with you guys for a long time and closely working very well with every single universities. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. And yeah, many of our students have been able to land amazing opportunities due to you and your team. So thank you for that.
No problem.
We'll turn it over to you, Sun. Tell us a little bit more about your role, especially at University of Phoenix, and then also what you're doing in the Chandler community.
You know, I just can't follow Crystal. I mean, she's doing an amazing job there, but mine is a little bit more boring than Crystal's work. But I'm a program chair. What that means is that I oversee the Masters in Science of Nursing, Family Nurse Practitioner program. And so I manage master's students, you know, who wants to become nurse practitioners. A lot of Asian countries do not have nurse practitioners and they're not familiar, but nurse practitioners are like, we call it mid-level. You know, we're nurses by training, but with additional education, we can write prescriptions, make diagnosis, and do all of that, you know. So managing, meaning that, you know, we have to follow the Arizona Board of Nursing requirements and accreditation, you know, which is really important. So there's a lots of rules and regulations that we have to follow. So I oversee, make sure all the students are meeting those standards before they graduate, and so they can sit for the board exam and pass. Hopefully all of them pass. We do have excellent, you know, pass rates. So that's what I do. I do oversee faculty as well too, supervise them, you know, assist them so they can deliver, you know, the materials a little bit better. Not only that, you know, I do a lot of activities, you know, outside of school, and that's a lot of volunteer work. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that. You know, the networking through volunteerism becomes very important when you're, you know, out there looking for that job. So for my work, that's what I do. Thank you.
Awesome. Great stuff. I mean, it's so critical because having you walk through that path and then being able to now coach and mentor your colleagues, it's incredible. Yeah, thank you.
And you know what? If there's anyone who's interested in nursing and becoming a nurse practitioner, that's a great field, you know, so I can probably mentor them and help them. Yes.
Awesome. No, it's an exciting field, especially now, you know, in our current time, there's a shortage, isn't there?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Sun. So the next question I had for you, Emma, could you talk about a little bit more about the OPT process? Because I know that you walked through it. What advice do you give to students right now who are facing their OPT and even CPT opportunities?
So, I mean, before the OPT opportunity, just work really hard to get a job offer. So you have something to pushing you to look forward to. And then when you start this OPT process, get in contact with the ISSC like immediately. That's where you want to start everything. And then ISSC will offer you, which is International Student and Scholar Office, and they will offer you like a pamphlet, like what you need to prepare. And then after you prepare, it's quite easy, but you have to make sure like when you fill out the process of OP, like the I-765 form, be really careful with what you like fill in there, and don't leave like empty boxes. If you don't feel comfortable with the material you're going to submit, go back to ISSC, ask their OPT advisor to like review everything for you. That, and then also make sure like you take like good picture, like don't take like blur pictures, so it will like increase the chance that you get RFE, which is a request for more evidence. So make sure of that. Just go through every material and then also make sure when you get the new I-20 from ISSC, within 60 days, you actually apply for OPT, not like just get the material, don't mail it out after 60 days. Then likelihood you will get the 30 days. Yeah, 30 days. Sorry. Thank you, Yedrong. And then 30 days mail it. So just, I mean, I'm not a professional expert, but just go to ISSC if you need, like, you have like any difficulties, you feel like you are like not, I mean, nervous about the process, you can talk to me because I'm in the process as well. Sheila knows about it. I've been pretty anxious about this process. So yeah, if you want, you can talk to me about it. I probably can calm you down. Okay, we can be anxious together. So that's the whole process, I guess.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah, so ISSC has been amazing partners for us because they help students walk through the process so that way they don't feel they're alone. And what's nice too, the other thing that we've done is in partnership with ISSC, we now have a filter. So if you're using Handshake, there's a CPT and OPT designated filter now. So you're able to go in and say, hey, I'm looking for CPT, like employers that support CPT. I want to see them only on my search. You're able to do that. And so ISSC actually has a feed, an RSS feed there. So just to make sure that everybody knows that exists there too. Thanks, Emma. And thanks, Yuzhang. Yuzhang, do you want to say anything while you're on? Okay, well, okay. She's with ISSC. I just wanted to give her an opportunity there. But yeah, so staying along in the process of advice. So Sun, as you graduated from ASU and started on your journey, what are some of the advice points that you would give to students as they embark on their journey? Not only leaving ASU, but then just prior to as well, like just any pieces of advice that you can offer.
Sure. To let you know, I have 4 different degrees, from ASU. And so each time, I think the biggest thing was my connection to the professors. They were very supportive and they are very resourceful. And so when you're out there looking for the job, it's very difficult to go out there and find the job, right? But they usually have the community connections. So my advice to all of you is that making that connection within the school, volunteer organization, I belong to student organizations, I belong to nursing student organization. And through that, there were a lot of interviews that was conducted. We had some practice on interviewing skills. And so you develop this confidence, right? So then you're better prepared. And so through those connections, I was able to find a job really easily. So I would definitely recommend, you need to study to get good grades, but however, volunteering, meeting other people and networking is so important.
Absolutely. Yes, always. That's a theme for us. ABN, always be networking, because you never know. Thanks, Sun. So Crystal, same question for you, especially as you're graduating as an international student and then starting your management trainee program. How did that, what are some of the points that you can give as far as advice to the students? Because you went on and started your own entrepreneurial, position with Lockin. I mean, so talk a little bit about that process.
Well, I do. I have a very good suggestion to everyone. Work with career service very closely. Work for career service, actually, that's I guarantee it's helpful, especially for the international students, because we have 1.2 million members already. And based on my own experience, so when I study in the university, I work for my instruction, for the whole department. And I have the chance to touch up the opportunity a lot earlier than other people's. And I can realize that that's very important for me. So do the things earlier and you get better in return. It's guaranteed. So especially if you work for career service, for sure, you know everything earlier than others, and you realize everything earlier than others. You know, that's the most important for the people whoever, you know, come out from the campus. If they about to prepare to job search, if you talk to career service earlier, then you can get everything earlier. So that's the, you know, that's the major problem when we talk to the most students. They just don't know how to use the service from the career service. They don't really, you know, 100% to see the value of it, or they realize they're too late. You know, we found a lot of students, like 90% of students, they realized about like 1 month before they graduate. You know, it's too late. It's way too late. So I tell you that. So for the students in China, every single one, they must have one internship before they graduate. Some of them have more than one. And they do everything for their job at least a year earlier. Some of them maybe from the second year already. And they maybe maybe already done some part-time job for the company. You know, it is really important. You have to touch up the job market earlier, and then you know this, and you know your position, you know your direction, and then you pay your attention, you work hard, and then you get your return. So we learn a lot international students. We believe they do have a very good background. We so believe in the education level from the overseas, but the problem is you have just not prepared very well, or you far away from the job market, no matter in US or in China. You have to prepare that. But in China, for most students, they realize that at least a year earlier, because we have we call the autumn recruitment period. So it means every single September or October, they have millions different company come to the campus, give the campus talk. It's like a festival for the 2 months. From 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every single hour, you can see the campus talk happening. So they realize, oh, that's the time I must have to find a job as early as possible. So usually everything starts from September, October, and they just go through the whole circle. And the first round should be the resume selection. Second round should be the online, maybe the examination. And the next round should be the interview, no matter by video or audio or people in person, you know. So till maybe December, latest in January, you should get your offer for your next year, before you graduate. So that's a whole circle. But compared this, we can tell for the international student, we have so many reasons we do not enter the circle, because we're so busy for the paper, very busy for the class. I'm in the midterm, you know. I'm just so stressful for the visa issues if we want to stay in US. So what I'm saying that you have to catch up the circle, whatever your reason, because the whole circle from the market, they won't wait till. So what I suggest for this, you should prepare in two hands. No matter you stay in US or come back to China or come to India, come to other places, you do the two different routes, right? You know, it's very important for most students. So do earlier, please do earlier. Earlier, the better.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. You couldn't said it even any better, because that's one of the things that we try to stress, is that career services is here for you from freshmen all the way past alumni.
You got it. Yeah. So work for career service. That's very beneficial, because you work for career service. You can see all the opportunity a lot earlier than others. Why not, right?
So I'm going to turn it over to Emma to talk a little bit about
exactly. I'm seeing Emma, right? That's a very good case.
Yep. So Emma, tell them about your roles. I had the pleasure of having her on my team. She got to meet so many employers firsthand, alumni firsthand. So Emma, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah. So, I guess my first job, in United States officially, was with career services. So the formal international student director, Janelle, she recruited me, and then since then I started working to see what's the job market all over the world for international students. And from that process, I know it's going to be stressful for me when I graduate. So after that, I start actively talking to Sheila, all those supervisors. I just keep like bugging them with my resume, with the employer I want to talk to. You can ask Sheila how many times I bugged them for like different things. It was very stressful. It was very stressful process for me. But I know, like, I look at my major. So this is my major, master in global affairs and management. And I look at those jobs posted on Handshake. Go on Handshake is very useful. Like go on Handshake, those events on Handshake, which one related to my major, related to my own interests. So I talk to my supervisors and ask them, hey, do you know this employer? Do you have any contact with them? Do we have any alums, like, working for them? Can you set up a meeting for me with them? So that's how like I get connected with all those people. Not exactly how I got my job, like talking to alum, but that's exactly how I get to improve myself, like knowing how to pitch myself, knowing how to tell them what my strength is, what I can offer to people. Then that set up really good like foundation for me to go into interview. I have this what's that called, confidence. I have this confidence talking to people who are already have so many experience in the workplace, not like just fresh off college and then knowing nothing, being really nervous, going to interview, probably gonna fail. But you already have this confidence, like you talk to many like like many like experienced people, like, oh, okay, I'm confident enough, I'm experienced, I'm educated. So that helped a lot. So I think one thing more than like getting to know career services, more than that is like network, knowing how to network, how to how to express your strengths, how to introduce yourself professionally to other people. Yeah. So I think that's very helpful. And then also talk to alums and know how they're doing, and then how you're relatable to them. And then they will tell you their journey is, how you can follow their footsteps.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think career services helped me a lot. I wouldn't be here without career services, without Sheila or Veronica and everyone. Because when I first looking for my job, I got this job offer last October, like a semester ahead of my graduation. So the reason why I started that early, because I thought, oh, I'm an international student, probably I won't get a job as soon as possible. So I'm probably gonna start early, practice with those employer, and then trying to like connect with their recruiter. So I know next year they already know my face. They know I'm prepared this time, so they're gonna hire me. But lucky enough, like I got the job like the first time I tried. So, but I did put a lot of effort in there. So yeah.
Awesome, Emma. No, that's so great. I mean, I'm telling you, you were so focused and you were so proactive because you knew, and many of the students that are joining us today, I mean, I know that you know what's ahead of you. So plan ahead as much as you can. Don't wait till the last minute. Like Crystal was saying, don't wait till the last minute, because the more time you have, the more confidence you can have, the more prepared you can be. And then like Emma said, you can practice that interviewing skills real time. And then even if it's not the one that's given to you, at least the next time around, you've been through that before. So yeah, great point.
Yeah. Well, also, I don't think Emma is lucky. It's not lucky because I know her. It's about like, I think the year before, right? 2 years ago, right? So at that moment, she already worked for your team, right? And she already knows a lot of things. So it's not lucky. It's the way to do. It's the right way to do.
Yeah, it is. And also Yuzhang just mentioned, she also helped ISSC. So, so again, working across departments, taking those opportunities where you see them, go for them. Don't feel that you're like, oh, I'm just a student or I'm not. No, put yourself out there. You'll be surprised what will happen when you ask, right? Thank you. So Sun, wanted to go back to you to talk a little bit about how you're coaching nursing students who are coming into the field, right? Like, how are you helping them identify what jobs they should go for, or, like, because nurse practitioner, you can go to so many different areas. So
Right.
curious your thoughts.
So nursing is a little bit different than, field of business or other fields. They basically go through a nursing program and you graduate with, RN degree, which puts you at a kind of even field, so, a lot of people want to get into the hospital setting. However, we did have a surgence of number of students, coming out of school, and a lot of people did not have a job as a brand new graduate, so back then, what I did was that I created a nurses association so I can get all of our Korean nurses to get together to help those brand new nurses. And that was one of our reasons why, we've been so successful is because not only I, just one person, but all of us were trying to foster and mentor those brand new nurses or the ones in school. So we were helping them through that. And then the other thing is, as they watched us grow from being a, just registered nurse of just working in the hospital setting to becoming a nurse practitioner, we were able to coach them through. And so most of our members are now in programs, including at ASU, that they're getting their master's degrees and becoming a nurse practitioner. So once they become a nurse practitioner, they can go into the different fields, with the family practice and cardiology. And that kind of, that we can't coach anyone, but they have to find love for those fields, So we usually have them work in a basic field of nursing, and we call it medical surgical, and then same with the family practice. And once they're in that field, and then they can specialize it, and that's what we recommend. But if you work in ICU nowadays, right, they can go straight into working with cardiologists, or they can go straight into pulmonologists, or all kinds of different fields, So a lot of foreign students have come and got their degrees in nursing, and they were able to get OPT and work for major hospitals. And then from there, they got hired, because currently the visa is closed, right? It was open for quite a while, and a lot of foreign nurses came in and got their residency, but now they have to go through the whole OPT process. But we have quite a few that were very successful because they were, found to be very good employees at a hospital setting. So it's another good field to get into, but I know it's a tough and very long program. So yeah,
it's so worth it.
Yeah.
I love the value of mentorship. I just want to put a plug in for ASU Mentor Network. If you're not already on it, make sure that you sign up for it, because that's how you're also able to connect with fellow students, alumni, professionals. We even invite professionals who didn't even graduate from ASU to be a part of the ASU Mentor Network. So that's another thing with students. I mean, I want you guys to think about that, because you need that guidance. You're not in it by yourself. Don't ever think that you're in it alone. There's a lot of people willing and able here to guide you through this process. So thank you.
I used to, as a nurse practitioner, we precept, students. So I used to precept quite a few students, through ASU, and I'm a lifetime member of the Alumni Association. So but I don't think I belong to the mentor program. So yeah.
We'll get you plugged. We'll get you plugged in.
Right.
So now, understanding the time of, the time that we're all in right now, Crystal, I'm going to direct this question to you first, and everybody could chime in. We're curious to see, what insights can you give, with all of the many employers that you're working with at Lockin? What are some of the trends or things that you're hearing from the Chinese employers during this time of COVID?
Well, this year just tough. We don't really have any experience. No one has experience about what's happening, similar to this year. So it's not easy to anyone, But the good news to China job market, well, I heard a lot from India, Japan, Korea, other places as well. It's just getting back. It's getting back slowly. And in China, it's a little bit faster than other areas, because I don't think any company in China, they can wait, because everybody really have to save the company. So We'll take examples in the first half year of 2020 is from like January to May. We only have 20% of the, the position, 20% of the total, the compare last year. We only left 20%. So it means like you don't have anything, you know. If you graduate from like let's say last December, means like when I return back to China, you pretty much you don't have job,
Right.
you know, because everything shutting down, is freezing. People are watching, especially for company. They don't want to spend money for recruiting. They don't really want to raise any high count for the new people, especially for the new graduate. So the first half year is bad. It's totally bad. But things may, like pretty much everyone back to the office, and it's getting back. It's quickly getting back. So we got like a lot recovering, like since May, June. Now it's like by the end of the June, we got another 20 to 30 of the total positions coming back compared last year. So the trends for this year, I believe it won't be as as many as last year. I mean, for the opportunities or the positions or the companies, but I think for the next half year from September, I mean, the traditional way for recruiting the fresh graduate, we'll be getting back. Not like that much as last year, but we're getting back. So if you graduate from this May, or you want to find an internship, my suggestion is you do it as normal and even earlier. So I heard a lot from my partner's company. They mentioned like usually they prepare everything from August, and for this year they prepare everything from July, because they have, well, the first reason is there's no way for them to fly over to US to do the recruitment, right? And then they have to rely on the online. Well, to be honest, the online is great, but it's not that great for everything. So we still very rely on the people. We can see each other, you know, in person, especially for a lot of big companies. They have like maybe 10 rounds for the interview. So complicated, you know. So the first round, you still have to prepare a resume, you send your applications, and they do the selection. You pass the first one. If we put everything online, means like when you pass the first one, you will receive maybe 2 to 3 phone calls for the next 2 to 3 rounds. And then you can go for the online examination or assessment. And then you go for the group. Well, usually we have a group interview, right? So we do have a group interview like a Zoom, right? We still have this model, but the thing is you have to better prepare compared before. Well, if before you do not prepare, right? Well, we see a lot of students, they do not prepare. They just go for it, you know, because they think they're good, right? But the thing is you have to prepare. So now if you do everything online, means like it's even harder. If you don't have any experience, you definitely failed. You definitely failed. You know, think about the Zoom, right? You only have this window. You have maybe 10 students together, and you very quiet, very shy. No one will remember you at all. You know, there's no way for you. So it means like you really have to learn this skill before you really go for it. You don't test it with like the actual opportunity. You don't do that. Yeah, you don't waste the opportunity. So you have to prepare. So if last year you already prepared, you think, oh, it's not easy, I have to prepare 2 months earlier. But for this year, please take 3 months earlier for this, because people, well, everybody prepared this early. I mean, but in China, for the compare like the domestic student, the local university, they can meet in person now. You know, for a lot of cities in China, they're already getting back to the normal. They can interview in person. So compare you, they won't see you. They see you online. So you have to do better. You have to do more.
Yeah.
You got it. So, well, I want to say like a trend is getting better. But again, the expert said they will have the second again, right? Maybe from September, October, while we go to the next winter. So we don't know that. But from my learning, the company really want to coming back. And if they're freezing the high con from from the January to July, means like they need people, right? Right. So the half from September, you will have the opportunity. You will have everything back. So please prepare. So, well, I don't feel like a disappointment for this year because I know it's happening to everyone. We don't complain at all, but you can find some new opportunity, you know? So please remember, every single industry with online will be your target. Take examples, online education, very hot, super hot. Online shopping, super hot, you know? So for those things with online, it's very, very hot. And they do, you know, they do have big, like a even larger compared last year for the recruitment side. So if you want to focus on like a market, please focus on that. Well, I still encourage very well, you know, I really encourage like people to work in China or India or Japan or, you know, other area from like, for the US student or other international students, because I do have a lot of employers, they love the people speak not Chinese, you know, because they do have a market overseas, especially for this year. If they cannot physically fly over there, they need people to get control online, so they need you. So please, you know, go ahead. Well, if you check like Lockin the website, we do have we have English vision. You can find a lot of positions, not like only for the Chinese. So you do have the opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great overview. Thank you, Crystal. And it's true, like when you think about it, it's like we are all in the same boat. So it's like you really have to step up your game to be able to differentiate yourself, because
Absolutely.
saying, hey, you know,
Absolutely.
I'm dealing with COVID too, and I'm in Europe or in US.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
It's bad, but we still can change it back to good, maybe, you know. We try really hard. Yeah.
Exactly. And then again, thanks again for touching on those industries that are growing, you know, online commerce, online education.
You got it.
A lot of opportunities. Thanks for that. And what can you say about those specific areas like in Japan and the other countries outside of China that you also work in, even though they're not returning at as fast a pace as China is? But what do you see, like, where do you see they're going?
Well, it's a little bit not that clear, especially for India. Well, because I do have a partner since last year. We pick up several potential partners, not really set up because the you know the things happening. So we supposed to set up in this February, but just that we cannot fly over there. So it's just so unsure. Because in India, well, I even cannot tell what's happening there right now. So, well, I do have a positions online, and I do have some companies pursue the talents very well. But the thing is, we cannot see it. You know, we don't know what exactly happened there. But for Japan or Korea, I think it's getting back. It's getting back. It's just, you know, they work really hard, you know. They even not really, you know, stay at home for a long time, you know. They already go back to the workplace. So I have the very good confidence for the other two areas. But for India, I don't know. We're still talking to our partner, and this just give us back very slowly in these 2 months. You know, usually we talk like pretty much like a weekly, but now we send the email, they come back in 2 weeks. So I think they're still watching. It might be the reason. They're watching the whole area. They're watching what's happening there.
Yeah, no, that's great insight. Thank you so much, Crystal. So I also want to talk a little bit about like, what is your piece of advice? And I'll start with you, Emma. What advice would you give our students and alumni as far as ideas to stay connected and being able to network in the world of COVID? Like, we can't go to coffee chats, we can't go to, you know, networking events, but what are some of those social media platforms that you would recommend that students and alumni make sure that they are connecting with fellow students and also employers?
So one thing that you already have mentioned is a ASU mentor network. It was a part of the project I was working on. That was really good. So after I graduated, I was really bored. I had no purpose. I was waiting for my OPT. I'm still waiting for my OPT. So I find out, hey, why I'm really bad at sales and marketing. I really hate those type of jobs. Why don't I talk to someone who's experienced at it and who's really good? So I connected with the sales and marketing director of North America and Disney. So it was pretty like to meet business, wow, like really big company. And what a pleasure, like an honor to talk to the director of sales and marketing, you know. So I talked to her through this program, like this channel, and we still are like staying connected. So I think this is pretty good way to do it, ASU Mentor Network. And also like for SONGS program, I guess a lot of students can find like nurse practitioner like mentors on that, and then with her as well, I guess. So it's very good to find a mentor that you stay connected, even though you're home, you don't know like what your purpose is, and they probably can talk you through a lot of stuff, and you can learn a lot of things from them, I guess. Yeah, and then for student like student engagement wise, I think go on Handshake, find a lot of like you can like search on events. There are a lot of events going on through career services or like on campus. So professionally, I guess. So you can like talk to your peers and employers through all those channels like by Zoom or phone. And it's a very good platform, I guess. I think. Also, I think I want to talk about Handshake a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
So, there are a lot of events going on campus. The marketing perspective can't cover everything. I find when I was working for career service, one thing I find super fascinating was when I was working there, we have this big area. They're always like full of employers, students. I was like, why don't I know about this this event? Like I feel like I'm left out, but it wasn't. It was posted on Handshake. Everyone can join. It's just me not going on Handshake, check on it regularly. Maybe it's a very small event. They're not doing like a lot of marketing stuff. I know PwC and then like Goldman Sachs, they're doing like a lot of events with career services and networking events, and they're hosting like when everything was on campus. They're still hosting events in our office. So that was very like fascinating to me. And I guess go on Handshake, check all those events. Can make you stay connected with all those employers, with your peers, talking about like every process with academically, professionally, like it's great.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Emma. Great insight. So everybody go to Handshake. Crystal, we'll turn it over to you to talk a little bit about what social media, what type of platforms do you recommend for students and alumni to connect?
Well, if you ask me, I must say Lockin. Well, we don't compete with Handshake, but for the global, platform, we definitely the best. We have the most global opportunity available online. So, so far, to be honest, China job market is still the major one. And I do see the question from the board. And yes, if you are the India students or other country students, please please go ahead and check our website for the position in China. Because I do have a lot of company that open up to the non-Chinese, like I said, they do need, right? Because they open up their market to everywhere. So they need you. So if you want to work for a Chinese company or work in China, definitely, it's a good idea. It is a good idea. Please go ahead, It's a lot of opportunity here. So yes, it's a Lockin, Lockin. I think we already have the portal online, right?
Yes,
we have the portal. It's just it's an inside Handshake or outside Handshake at this
point. I believe it's outside, but what we can do, we can make sure that everybody gets a link after.
Yes, please. Yeah, that would be a lot easier if outside Handshake. It means like you don't need to log in, right? So if you just it should be like some buttons there, right? If you press the button, you jump in a page. That page will be designed with the the career service together, right? It's designed as like that way. So you can check the positions there, and the positions will be matched to the background of your university,
Yes.
The majors, right? So there will be like a very focused, or they do have some direction, should be very accurate for the student from your university. So please check the portal, or you can just download our app, it's Lockin U. Lockinu. It's just the positions available on it's just like a normal platform, but it's only for the overseas background people. Awesome. Yeah, no matter where you're from, it's just for the international students. Awesome. So yes, this is the way. And the other way is to use the LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very useful too, right? And because, well, LinkedIn, just the only thing is if you do not have any experience, it might be hard from very beginning. But if you have maybe at least one internship, that you can use that, right? So you do have some network already available. Especially you can find your alumni. Once you leave from the campus, you find some alumni. That will help. Sometimes they can refer someone to you, so it's helpful. So, well, again, network is very, very important. You can just you have to collect those things for yourself. You have to think this very independently. Yes, it's lockinyou.com. You can find that, right. So, and also career service give you the best network all the time. So make sure you know that. Make sure you know that. Someone they don't know that.
Right. Thank you so much. And yeah, on our website, we have a whole section all about, how do you prepare for the virtual environment? How do you interview in a virtual setting? Things like that. All of those resources, please utilize career services. Thanks for that.
Right. I just answer that question. So yes, LinkedIn is also widely used by employers and recruiters in China, especially recruiters. I really have to see that. So, well, because in China we still have several big platform. We have a jobin.com, we have a 51 job, but those guys not really focused for the overseas background people. So if you search on the website, if you take examples, if you search accounting, you have 10 million results came out. It's hardly for you to focus on your background. So LinkedIn is just part of those guys. It's not major so far, to be honest. But if you have the overseas background, if you're an international student, it could be helpful, right? It's just because that they are globally, they support a global background. But if you really, really found a focused job in China, so I still say Lockin give you the best positions, just very directly give you the positions.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Crystal. And Sun, I wanted to make sure that you get a chance to also share, what are some ways that you're recommending that students network with other nurse practitioners?
So yes, and then I'll also answer the question that was in the chat box. For nursing, it is, the one good thing is that we do go out to the fields, for practicum. We call it preceptorship, and we do practice. Through that, you want to make the connection, and you got to consider that as your job interview, because most people get hired from that experience, because they want to see how well you manage your patients. They want to see how well you diagnose them and all of that, so during your practicum or preceptorship, that's when you want to show them that you are better than others and you're above, much better, prepared than others. So consider that as a job interview. But connecting with your peers through professional organization and going to conferences really help, because that's where we connect. And that's when you want to connect with your, peers and find out where the jobs are. Volunteering for nonprofit organizations and underserved organizations. There are a lot of medical missions and clinics, free clinics where they need a lot of people to help out. And from there, that you can get your experience and then connect and find your job. Sometimes, they do have loan payment, programs, and sometimes they do provide visa, so for those people who are really looking to stay here in the United States, after getting a nursing degree, that's where you want to connect to. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great advice. Yeah, great questions, guys. Just want to make sure that everybody's questions have been answered. We're still doing great on time. Just wanted to make sure that everybody has a chance to connect with each of our panelists. I think we've covered all the questions. Yeah, okay, perfect. So with that, just wanted to give a chance for each of the panelists to wrap up with any final words. So Emma, what are some of the last words that you'd like to share with the rest of the students and alumni that are joining us today?
I think the most important thing is network. Just go out of your way to learn about who you want to work for and talk with the recruiter, talk to the people who work for their position. And you might end up not like in the company, but you have knowledge, a lot of knowledge of this field, and then to help you decide, is this really for me? Or when you talk to a lot of people, you may discover your new passion. So I think network is one of the most important things.
Awesome. Thanks, Emma. Crystal, what final words of wisdom would you share?
Well, it's very meaningful for the international students, you know, if the university really support for their career, because, well, if for every single individually, they hardly, you know, to get the resources before they graduate, especially the studying overseas, you know, or especially for someone they won't return back to the home country. So please take the benefit, or please see the value from the career service every single time they help you, because it's really helpful. Because for yourself, you're hardly to get these resources. Like you hardly to fund me, right? You hardly to fund me to talk individually to you. But I work with very closely with the university. So please to follow the, you know, the other instruction, or, you know, the workshop, or any opportunity, you know, it's very, very useful for you. And also, like I said, please prepare as early. Well, it's not early, it's the time, it's on time. Please prepare on time. I want to change that. Please prepare on time. So usually you prepare like from September, it's not early, it's on time. I want to see that, because everyone do that, because the company open up the door at that time. They won't wait till. That's the problem. So I have a lot, like I learn a lot of story from the, you know, the student when they return back to China. They cry, you know, they cry all the time, and they complain all the time. They even, you know, doubt about the education they study overseas, and, you know, they study very hard. Actually, it's harder than a local student, I guarantee you, because you get like a harder to graduate. You get harder to pass the exam. That's why you have to pay more attention and work harder. So make sure your education really beneficial for your first job. The only way to lock one internship, you know, you have to do it. I tell you that 90% of the students in China, 90%, I want to see 95%, 95% students, they must have like an internship before they grad. So it means like one employer see take examples, if they have 100 resumes, so every single one from the local universities, student with like the full experience of it, like an internship. But I do see like at least 50% of the international student, and I mean the Chinese returnee, they don't have an internship, you know, they don't have an internship, and they complain. Why you complain? Right? They complain. They say, okay, I cannot, why? I have a very good education background. Why I cannot pass the first round? Because you don't have the internship experience. So that's why you even cannot get a real interview right after you send your resume. That's the major reason. So please make sure you prepare earlier and get an internship. That's very, very important. Yeah.
Excellent advice. Excellent advice. And I think also right now too, because of COVID, there's a lot of virtual internships available.
Yes.
So it might open up the opportunities that otherwise wouldn't be, you know, available.
That's why.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Sun, I'll turn it over to you for last words of wisdom.
You know what? They both were great giving advices. The last thing I wanted to make a recommendation is don't look for that job that is too rosy. You know, you need to do the hard work. You need to really get to the bottom and do, you know, work your experience from the bottom up, you know. So whatever gets in front of you, just do it. You know, just don't be afraid and just do it. Get your experience.
Excellent advice. Wow, ladies, we can't thank you, each of you, enough. Thank you so much. It's been an incredible conversation. Just looking from the comments, everybody's so thankful and just all the great praise. So thank you all so much. Brianne, want to turn it over to you?
No, I don't have anything additional to say. Just want to thank all of our panelists one last time. Thank you to the participants who joined today. Just a reminder that if anyone does want the link to this recording, I can make that available. So feel free to send me an email. I'm going to put my email in the chat box right now. And then, you know, as we kind of just are wrapping up this International Student Career Development Series, if you have any lingering questions that maybe weren't addressed in any of the sessions, or if you are looking to connect with our office to come in and meet with our staff, you can always book an appointment on Handshake. But if you're not sure where to go or how to get started, you're also welcome to just reach out to me for that, and I can help point you in the right direction as well. So thanks everyone. This has been such an amazing panel, and we hope to have you back again sometime in the future very soon. So thanks so much.
Thank you all so much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.